It's 5:50 on your Thursday morning wake-up call. I'm Amy King. Thanks for starting your day with us. Right now, let's say good morning to America's leading product safety attorney and the author of Defect Safely. Nope, Defect Safety. I'll get it right. Good morning, Don Fountain.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you for getting it right.
Yeah, sorry for getting it wrong the first time. So we all buy presents, Don, but sometimes we inadvertently make bad choices. So what are some things that people should be looking for when they're shopping for Christmas presents to make sure that they are safe?
During the Christmas season, product defects are very prevalent, and the general public has a false reliance on the government to keep us safe. But what consumers need to know is that the products we buy are not really as safe as we believe. We all assume that the products we buy in big stores and online have all been through some rigorous safety testing, but that's generally a false assumption. The vast majority of the products have little to no hazard analysis, and some have very little hazard analysis inside the manufacturing process. So the consumer typically relies on the government to make sure the products are safe, not realizing that the government really relies on the consumer as the first responder, the canary in the coal mine, if you will, to point out product defects in cases. And there are two very important websites that I think all your listeners should know about: saferproducts.gov and safercar.gov. This is where the government wants consumers to report defects so that we can get ahead of the problem.
Okay, and every year the group WATCH, which stands for worst, what is it? They put out a worst toys list. I can't remember what WATCH stands for right now, but they put out the 10 worst toys list. So you're saying basically these toys get put out, and then as people buy them, they start finding out that people are choking on them, or there's a burn thing, or there's somebody, or one of the things on the list at the top of the list is a toy Colt 45 pistol that looks like a real pistol, but they put it out anyway.
Yes, you're exactly right. And if you go right now to Google and you type in list of consumer product recalls, it will take you directly to the Consumer Product Safety Commission website, and you will see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of products that the manufacturers thought were safe enough to put in a box and sell to the public. But somebody, Mary in Colorado or Bob in New Jersey, made a report, and these things started to come to the surface. And that's a very critically important part of our safety system. And the government really relies on the public to let us know about these things.
Okay, so Don, why? Because you have dealt with these cases before. Why would toy makers and other companies put these things out, knowing that there are lawyers just waiting to jump in if somebody gets hurt or killed?
Well, manufacturers are necessarily and obviously focused on profit, especially during the holiday season. You know, a lot of companies rely on the holiday season as a make or break. They make 25 to 45% of their annual revenue during this season. And there's a rush to get things to market. And we all know sometimes when you rush, safety steps get missed or skipped altogether.
Okay. And then when it's something that's more than just a light that doesn't light right, like the Grinch would say, it might be time to take legal action. And that's kind of where you come in. So do you take a lot of these cases where somebody has bought something and it turned out to be very dangerous?
We do a lot of product defect litigation when someone is injured or killed. I get lots of calls all the time for somebody who says, my product is defective and it didn't hurt me yet, but I'm worried about it. And what I tell them and I tell everybody is, please do two things. Go to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, saferproducts.gov, and report it. Go to the manufacturer and report it, because this is the genesis of every recall that we see. Every time you open up the newspaper and see a recall, this is where it starts.
Okay, so you need to be proactive. And are there any things that you have in your time doing all of this and trying to help people stay safe? Are there things that people should be watching out for? Because like you said, we rely on the government to make sure that they're safe, but they're not. So what can people do to make sure that they're not buying bad gifts that are going to hurt themselves?
Well, you just need to be vigilant. You need to look at things. You know, during the holiday season, small pieces, moving parts, batteries, products with pinch points, sharp edges. What I always tell everyone is that when in doubt, ask a mother. Their safety senses are very, very intense, and statistically, men are the ones who get hurt the most. Go figure. So when in doubt, ask a mom.
Ask a mom. I love that. Okay, and then you wrote a whole book, uh, Defect Safety. Is this all about what we're talking about right now?
Yes, it is. The book is about two things. Number one, it's kind of a legal guide for lawyers that do this to help them avoid some of the pitfalls and the problems that these cases have. But it's also a great story for the consumer, so that the consumer can see how the civil justice system affects everyday safety in the background. We never know about it. Everybody that's listening right now has benefited through this process indirectly, where somebody had a case or reported a problem and a recall or a product got pulled off the shelf. Mm-hmm. And that's a critical part of our process. It's almost like the fourth arm of the government, if you will.
Are you noticing, Don, more and more of these kinds of toys are being put out, or because there's people reporting them, are the manufacturers being any more safe?
Well, I like to think that the manufacturers are being safe, but there's such a flood of products that come from all over the world. The government just cannot manage. Everybody thinks, oh, it's on a shelf, it must have been tested by the government. No, it just doesn't happen. There's just not an ability for the government to do that. So in large part, safety is reliant on the manufacturer themselves. And of course, they have budgets, bills to pay, they want to turn a profit. And so the safety level of safety that they assign has to fit within their earnings and their profit matrix. Some companies are better than others.
Yeah, the almighty dollar. Okay, so if somebody does get hurt or notices something that they think potentially could hurt them, what are the websites again that they can go and report them?
Okay, there's two websites. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is for typical consumer products, and that's saferproducts.gov, not .com, saferproducts.gov. For motor vehicles, motorcycles, cars, things of that nature, there's a separate website called safercar.gov, safercar.gov. Those are the two websites directly to the U.S. government where they monitor these things, and that is really the genesis of every recall that you see. And the thing I want you to remember is that we all see recalls all the time, but every product that we purchase, they say, do you want a warranty on it? Okay, why does a product have a warranty? Defects of workmanship or materials, because these things are just getting put out to the public, and we need to be vigilant and be careful.
Okay, so if you want to put in a report, you might not only save yourself, but you might help somebody else too. So that's always a good thing, especially during the holidays. Product safety attorney and author of the book, Defect Safety, Don Fountain. Thank you so much for your time and information this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.